Ever catch yourself dreaming about a career change, but you're kind of lost on where to even start?
Have the best of us.
Yeah, for real. So today we're taking a deep dive into the world of career guidance advisors. They're the pros who can help you navigate all those tricky career crossroads.
And we're going to be using insights from RoleCatcher, that platform that's all about making job searching and career development way smoother.
Exactly. So let's jump right into it. This deep dive is going to be all about what makes these advisors tick.
It's pretty amazing how much this whole career advising thing has transformed.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that high school guidance counselor who just shoves a pamphlet in your hand and says, become a doctor, you're good at biology. It's so much more than that now.
Right, it's like way more in depth now.
Yeah. Career guidance is like this whole lifelong partnership thing now. They help you navigate those big career changes, learn super valuable skills, and adapt to this crazy job market that just keeps changing all the time.
So it's all about staying ahead of the game.
Totally.
Okay, so let's break down what career guidance advisors actually do on like a day-to-day basis. The RoleCatcher guide we've been looking at paints a pretty interesting picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Forget those dusty old pamphlets. We're talking about serious, in-depth assessments, helping people uncover those hidden talents they didn't even know they had, and creating like personalized career roadmaps. It's pretty cool.
It's like they connect all these random dots in your life and bam, you've got a clear path forward.
That's a great way to put it.
But it's not just about knowing like every single thing about the current job market. A good advisor also has to be like really well-versed in career development theories.
Career development theories, what's that all about?
It's basically understanding how people learn, grow, and make those major life choices. Like, why do people choose certain career paths? What motivates them?
So it's a mix of psychology and understanding what skills are like super hot right now.
Yeah.
And speaking of right now, the guide also mentions that career guidance counselors work in all kinds of places, right? It's not just schools and career centers anymore.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You'll find them in schools, career centers, even private companies. It's super diverse.
So there's a ton of flexibility in terms of where you could actually work.
Absolutely. And you know what else?
What's that?
We can't forget about all the amazing tech that's shaking things up. Online assessments, virtual counseling. It's not just a face-to-face profession anymore.
Oh, right, with all the video calling and everything.
Yeah. And that means a career guidance advisor could work with people all over the world, which is pretty awesome.
Okay, that's huge. Opens up so many possibilities. But the guide also mentions some challenges that come with the territory, right?
Definitely. Every job has its challenges.
For sure. It sounds like dealing with clients who might be feeling like really lost and indecisive could be tough.
Yeah, that's got to be really hard.
It sounds like it could be emotionally draining, right?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, the guide actually puts a big emphasis on social perceptiveness and active listening, ranking them super high in importance.
How high are we talking?
Like 70% for social perceptiveness and 59% for active listening. That's huge.
Wow, that really is high. What makes those skills so important in this field?
Well, it's not just about having all the answers, it's about really tuning into your client, understanding their needs and what motivates them, and then using that to guide them effectively.
So it's almost like being a career therapist in a way.
Yeah, kind of. You're helping people work through those moments of self-doubt and uncertainty. That's a lot of pressure.
It sounds like it takes a special kind of person to do that well. Makes you wonder what kind of education or background you actually need to become a career guidance advisor.
Yeah, is it like a specific degree or...
Right, I'm curious about that too.
Well, the guide suggests that having a background in psychology, education, counseling, or even social work can be a major advantage.
That actually makes a lot of sense when you think about it, right? You're dealing with people's dreams, anxieties, and their ability to make big decisions.
Totally. It's a very people-oriented field, that's for sure.
So someone who loves helping others and understands how people learn and grow would be a great fit, right?
Absolutely.
And the guide even lists some specific degree subjects that could be helpful. Psychology, education, counseling, social work, and sociology and human resources, too.
Wow, that's a pretty diverse range of backgrounds.
It really is.
And you know what that means, right?
What's that?
You could have someone who is a teacher and now they want to guide students towards amazing careers, or someone who comes from a social work background and wants to help people find their place in the world.
Right, like they're calling.
Exactly. So many possibilities.
Now, speaking of finding your place, the guide mentions social perceptiveness again, and it's listed as 70% important for this role. Why do you think that is?
Well, like we were saying before, it's not enough to just give people information. You have to really pay attention to what they're saying, what they're not saying, and then tailor your approach to fit each person. It's all about reading between the lines.
And I'm guessing that's where the active listening comes in, right?
Yeah, you got it. The guy says it's 59% important, which makes sense because to really understand what someone's looking for in their career, you have to really listen to them, build that trust.
So it all circles back to that whole career therapist idea.
Exactly. You're creating a safe space for people to open up, share those doubts, and really explore what's possible without feeling judged.
This is really eye-opening. I feel like we're starting to paint a really clear picture of what it takes to be a successful career guidance advisor. It's this blend of empathy, knowledge, and practical skills. It's not just about knowing what jobs are hot right now. It's about empowering people to recognize their own strengths and create their own path.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And speaking of paths, maybe we should take a look at how RoleCatcher itself can help aspiring career guidance advisors, or even those who are just thinking about getting some guidance themselves. What do you think?
Oh, for sure. That's actually what I was just thinking about. This is where things get even more interesting. Like, for someone who's completely intrigued by this career path, what kind of resources does RoleCatcher offer?
Well, for starters, if you're thinking about maybe hiring a career guidance advisor, RoleCatcher actually gives you a glimpse into the tools and techniques those professionals use, which can be incredibly useful.
Oh, so it's like a behind-the-scenes look into their world.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. One of the excerpts mentions something called a CV resume builder. What is that exactly? So the CV resume builder, it sounds seriously impressive. What makes it so special?
Well, it actually uses AI to make your resume as good as it can possibly be for certain jobs. Yeah. You can look at the job description, figure out what skills the company really wants, and then it suggests how to show off your best skills and experiences.
So it's not just like making it look all pretty and organized.
No, no, no. It's about getting the attention of the hiring manager, speaking their language.
So it's like having RoleCatcher as your own personal resume coach.
Exactly. And you know how we were talking about active listening being super important for career guides advisors?
Mhm.
Well, RoleCatcher does that too. It basically listens to what employers want by looking at tons of job descriptions, and then it helps make your application perfect.
Whoa, that's pretty cool. What other cool stuff does RoleCatcher have?
Okay, get this. They have an interview practice tool. You can practice with over 120,000 interview questions.
What? 120,000?
Yeah, and they're all organized by different careers and skills.
That's insane.
You can practice your answers, record yourself talking, and even get feedback on how you did.
Wow, that's like having your own personal interview coach.
Right. It's amazing.
So from making an awesome resume to rocking those interviews, RoleCatcher sounds like it's the secret weapon for anyone trying to figure out their career, you know?
Totally agree. It's like having a whole support system right there on your computer.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about what career guidance advisors do and how RoleCatcher can help people find their way. But what about the advisors themselves? Like, what does their career path look like?
Oh, yeah, good point. The guide actually breaks it down into different levels, kind of like you're leveling up in a video game.
I like that, leveling up. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. What does an entry-level career guidance advisor even do?
Well, they usually start by helping out the more senior advisors, providing support, learning the ropes, and slowly taking on more and more responsibility.
So it's a lot of learning on the job.
Exactly. Think of it like an apprenticeship where you're shadowing someone more experienced, lending a hand, and maybe even handling some of those admin tasks nobody really wants to do.
Makes sense. So what comes after that?
Next level up is junior level. That's where you start working more directly with clients.
Oh, so you're actually like putting all that learning into practice.
Yeah. Then conducting those initial assessments, helping people brainstorm career options, and even coaching them on resume writing and nailing those interviews.
So you start to really see how you're making a difference in people's lives.
For sure. Then, as you get even more experience and knowledge, you move up to mid-level, where you start developing even more personalized career plans for your clients, right? And you're probably working with people on those trickier career changes, like switching industries or going back to school.
It sounds like you could really get into some deep stuff there.
Yeah, definitely. You might even find yourself leading workshops or teaching others what you've learned.
Okay, so you've put in the work, you've climbed the ladder.
Yeah.
What does it take to reach the top and become a senior career guidance advisor?
At that level, you're basically the boss. You're leading projects, creating training materials, mentoring those junior advisors, and you might even start your own business.
Wow, so there's potential to be your own boss in this field. The whole thing just seems super flexible, like you could really specialize in something you're passionate about.
100%. And honestly, that's one of the most rewarding parts of this career. You're not just helping people get a job, you're helping them find something they truly love to do.
That's awesome. Now, the guide also mentioned certifications like Certified Career Counselor, that's CCC, right?
Yeah.
And Global Career Development Facilitator, or GCDF. Are those like absolutely essential to move up the career ladder?
They're not always mandatory, but they can definitely give you an edge, especially in a competitive job market.
Mm.
It shows everyone you're serious about your career and that you have that specialized knowledge. Like you're going the extra mile.
Hmm. So it's definitely something to consider if you want to stand out. Now, one last thing from the RoleCatcher excerpts that really caught my eye was this whole thing about transferable skills. What's the deal with that? Why is everyone talking about it these days?
Well, you know how these days people are always changing careers. It's not like the old days where you had one job for life.
Right. It's way more common to switch things up.
Yeah, exactly. So it's easy to get stuck thinking about your old jobs and not realize all the other valuable skills you've picked up along the way.
Yeah, sometimes you need someone to point those things out to you, right?
Exactly. And guess what? RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you with that.
No way.
It can analyze your work history, your skills, all of it, and then be like, hey, you know what? These skills could be super useful in a totally different field.
So even if you're not thinking about becoming a career guidance advisor yourself, just checking out RoleCatcher could be super helpful.
Absolutely.
It's like having this whole team of career experts in your back pocket, helping you see all the amazing things you're capable of.
Love that. It's all about taking charge of your career destiny. So what do you say? Ready to find out if a career as a career guidance advisor is right for you?
I don't know about you, but I'm definitely intrigued. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's talk about the job outlook for this field. What can people expect in terms of job security and all that? So, could you benefit from working with a career guidance advisor? I mean, maybe after this deep dive, you're even thinking about a whole new career path, one you'd never even considered before.
That's a great question, honestly. Think about it. What are your real goals for your career? What are you amazing at? And what are some things you could work on? And most importantly, are you actually happy with where you are right now? Or are you feeling kind of stuck?
Yeah, those are those big life questions. And it's easy to feel lost trying to figure it all out on your own. The job market is so wild these days.
That's where a career guidance advisor can really help. They're in the know about the job market. They can help you uncover those hidden talents you didn't even realize you had. And they can give you honest feedback and support.
It's like having a cheerleader, strategist, and therapist all in one.
Exactly. And these platforms like RoleCatcher are making career resources so much easier to get a hold of. There's really no reason not to take charge of your career.
That's so true. So whether this deep dive made you want to become a career guidance advisor, or you just want to learn more about how one could help you, definitely go check out RoleCatcher's platform.
You never know. You might be amazed by what you find.
For real. Well, that just about wraps up our deep dive into the world of career guidance advisors. We talked about what they do, the skills they need, what their career paths look like, and even how RoleCatcher is changing the game for both advisors and the people they help.
Don't forget knowing stuff is great and all, but actually using what you've learned is how you create real change. So take all this awesome info you've gotten today, see what resources are out there, and most importantly, get out there and do something.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next time.